Wholesale Ted.
Yes.
That's you. Okay,
That's
I'm gonna
me.
go watch later.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hey there, my name is Sarah, and today I'm going to tell you the truth about how I and many others fly first class and business class for free. See, I remember when I was 6 and my parents took my sister and I on vacation. We flew all the way from Christchurch, New Zealand to Los Angeles. And we went to Disneyland. It was one of the best memories of my life. And I remember that when we got on the plane, we'd have to walk past the business seats at the front of the plane all the way down to the economy seats at the back of the plane. It was like we were being teased. And I was always wondering growing up, who on earth flies business class, let alone first class? And just for reference, if you're watching this and you're in the USA, you guys have these domestic A320 planes. Well, they have 2 cabins, economy at the back of the plane, and quote unquote, first class at the front of the plane featuring bigger recliner seats. This is what you guys call a first class seat. However, this is not what I'm talking about. No, this is what I mean by first class seat. These aren't even called seats, they are called suites. As I mentioned on this channel, last month I flew to Singapore for some business meetings. Well, to get there I went from Christchurch to Sydney, Sydney to Singapore, and back the same route again. And to do that, I got to fly first class on 2 of the world's best airlines. Because guess what? I now fly first class for free. One airline I flew was Singapore Airlines, and I got to fly in their brand new first class cabins in their A380 planes. And I'm going to tell you now, these are crazy. I couldn't believe that you can fly these for free. I wouldn't even call these a suite. They are a room. You get your own room to yourself in the sky with a lazy boy. And you get a bed. Yes, you have a separate bed that folds out from the wall that the flight attendants make up for you. You can truly lie flat in it. The other airline I flew first class with was Emirates on their A380, and these cabins were also super nice. Of course, as you can see, you didn't quite get your own room in these planes, even if you do get a minibar, but that was more than made up for the fact that you got something even cooler. On this plane, they have a shower, yes, a shower for their first class guests. You get 5 minutes of water, and it was amazing. Real first class is super nice, but unless you're flying for free, well, it's not cheap. Take a look at this. If I wanted to fly from my home city, Christchurch, to New York one way in economy flying Qantas, which is currently running a sale, it would cost me 1,266 New Zealand dollars. But if I wanted to fly in business class, it would cost me $5,141. That is 4 times the price of economy. But what about first class? Well, it would cost me a cool $9,141. That is 7 times the price. For many people, that would be 1/2 to 1/3 of their whole annual income spent on just a one-way flight. And so I used to wonder, who on earth are these people who are flying business class and first class with their families all the time? Who on earth can afford to do that? Well, I used to wonder that until I became one of those people myself. Now, yes, I do sometimes pay for my airfares with cash, but I try to fly as much as I can for free or at heavily discounted prices. And here is how people like me are able to do that. Step 1, we have a credit card that gives us free flight miles every time that we spend money on it. Step 2, we are savvy about which credit card we use. Step 3, we have a way to spend lots and lots of money on that credit card. If you can be spending hundreds of thousands of dollars a year on a credit card, then you can accrue a huge amount of flight miles. And it's true that if you sign up for credit cards, you can get some really good sign-up bonuses without spending lots and lots of money, but these are also just one-off bonuses, and you can usually only sign up to a limited number of credit cards. So if you want to be flying business class and first class all of the time rather than just some of the time, you're going to have to be spending money. The problem, of course, is that most people don't have hundreds to thousands of dollars to spend on a credit card, right? So that's the secret here. You need to be able to have a way that you can spend lots and lots of money on a credit card without actually truly spending that money or losing that money. And yes, if you are a subscriber here at Wholesale Ted, then you can probably guess that the way that I think it's easiest to be able to do that is to be running a business. Although, as I'm going to explain, you can still be bad at business and your business could be making no profit at all, but you could still be flying first class for all of your flights. So let's say you wanted to fly in the Singapore Airlines first class suite like I did. But we'll pick a route that's closer to where most of my subscribers live. So let's say that you wanted to fly from New York to Singapore. Now this might get a little bit technical here, so just bear with me. Well, normally if you booked this flight with cash, it would cost you $10,759.72. Yeah. We don't really want to pay that. Luckily, if you book ahead, a Saver Award ticket will cost you 120,000 miles with the Singapore Airlines program KrisFlyer. Well, the best credit card to accrue these miles is the American Express Explorer card, so we'd get one of those. Every time that you spend $1 with this card, you earn 2 AMEX points, the American Express Rewards program. These can be transferred to Singapore Airlines frequent flyer program, KrisFlyer. 2 AMEX points will get you 1.5 Singapore KrisFlyer miles. So that means that if we spend $80,000 on our American Explorer card, we'll get 160,000 AMEX points, which if we transferred to Singapore Airlines would be 120,000 miles, which is what we need to fly in first class for free. But of course, $80,000 is a lot of money. It's more money than what most people earn in a single year. So how on earth can you spend $80,000 on a credit card? Well, what you do is you have a business that spends money to make money. For example, the main business model that we teach on this YouTube channel is something called AliExpress dropshipping. And this is a fantastic example of a business model that spends money to make money. With dropshipping, what you do is you first set up an online store. The easiest, most beginner-friendly platform is Shopify, and you guessed it, you can pay for this with your credit card. Next, you list products for sale in your Shopify store. And where do you find your products? You find them on a website called AliExpress. Like take these nifty cat coffee spoons here. They are selling for just $1.37 on AliExpress. You then list them in your store for a markup price, which you can do because the products are already super cheap. Then you advertise these products using Facebook ads to bring in traffic and customers to your store. And guess what? You pay for your ads with your credit card. Using paid ads to generate sales is the easiest way that I spend money to make money. And of course, when a customer comes to your store to buy your product, you then go to AliExpress and order the item for the customer and get the AliExpress store to ship it directly to the customer. And guess what? You pay for it with your credit card. And by the way, if you would like free training on how you can get started in this business model yourself, I have a free ebook, The 6 Steps That 6-Figure Dropshipping Stores Follow to Make Over $10,000 Every Month. And if you would like to get that ebook for yourself, you can download it by clicking on the link in the video description below. But yes, credit card rewards are one of the best hidden bonuses of running a business. In fact, last month we had the founders of the Wholesale Formula, Dan and Eric, run 2 webinars for our Wholesale TED subscribers showing us how they purchase wholesale products and then resell them on Amazon.com for a profit. Well, in one of their webinars, they explained how they use their credit card to buy most of their products. Instead of travel rewards, they opt for cash back. Last year, they got over $50,000 in cash back rewards alone. And as they pointed out, even if their business didn't make any profit, they'd still make more money than what the average American earns each year just in credit card cashback rewards alone. Though I must point out as a travel lover that if they'd instead chosen to get flight rewards, they could have earned over 5 million AMEX points, which could have been turned into 3,750,000 miles with Singapore Airlines, which could have been redeemed for 15 return first-class flights from New York to Singapore. And that's the thing, I do expect that most business owners who are flying at the front of the plane probably are turning a profit with their businesses. However, even if they weren't, they could still be flying first class. And as we've shown on this channel, yes, you can scale an AliExpress store to be doing $10,000 a month. In fact, you can be scaling it to be doing millions of dollars every year. But a question we often get asked is this: these stores that might be generating $10,000 a month in revenue, well, how much of those dollars is profit? Well, it's a good question. When most people in the dropshipping world talk about revenue, the profit margins that we're generally aiming for are around 20 to 25%. But as a quick fun thought exercise, let's say that you sucked at dropshipping and you were making over $10,000 a month in revenue, but you weren't making any profit from it. Well, that would mean that that $10,000 a month in revenue is actually going towards expenses. And as we've already established with AliExpress dropshipping, pretty much all of your expenses are paid for with a credit card. If we're spending $10,000 a month on our credit card, that means we're earning 20,000 membership points with the American Express program, AMEX. And if we transfer those to Singapore Airlines, we'd be earning 15,000 miles with them each month. Over a year, that would be 180,000 points. And 180,000 points gets us 1.5 first-class flights from New York to Singapore in these incredible suites, the equivalent of over $16,000 in free premium flights. And you know what's awesome about flight miles? It is untaxed compensation. Sorry, Benjamin, but it turns out that sometimes you can escape your taxes. Here is the reality. When you go to work at your job, you're spending your time to make money. And no one gives you extra rewards for doing that. But with a business, you focus on spending your money to make money instead. And this does get rewarded. It gets rewarded with free travel around the world. So there you go. As I've discovered, it turns out that business class is kind of called that for a reason. Thanks for watching this video, and if you'd like even more free training on how you can build your own online-based digital business, then be sure to subscribe to Wholesale Ted for more free videos.